Good evening, everybody. So the topic that has been assigned to me is the agriculture education in context of NEP 2020. Everybody knows about the National Education Policy, which was launched in 2020. And it's a very ambitious policy of the government because our education, this last policy was in 90s when it was first modified. Thereafter nothing was done for upliftment of the education or recasting the entire education system. Now with the launching of the national education policy, different areas, different streams of education will go into a vast change or transformation. So today we'll be discussing what will be the change that will be required in the agriculture education to fit into the National Education Policy 2020. So the vision of this National Education Policy 2020 is to establish an education system which will be rooted deep into the Indian ethos that will contribute directly for transforming India, which we call Bharat, because there is a meaning why we are not using India but the Bharat, because we want to bring in the Indian ethos into the education system. And that will be sustainable into an equitable and vibrant knowledge society, and which will be achievable by providing high quality education to everybody, everyone in the country, and thereby making India a global knowledge superpower. Just a minute, my slide is not moving. That's the problem.
You can move back, or you can stop and try once again.
Yeah. One by one, I have to go, I think.
Yeah.
It's not sharing properly. Is it now visible?
No, not yet.
Is it visible now?
Yeah, now it is visible.
So one by one, I think that will
Yes.
become very cumbersome.
Yes.
Okay, now in this education policy, there are certain principles and there will be certain implications also for every principle. First of all, one by one, what are the principles that are there in the national education policy? We will be just discussing that one. First one is we have to recognize, we have to identify, and we have to foster the unique capabilities of each student in this education system, new education system, so that we can have a holistic development of the student, both in academic and non-academic spheres. It is not that only academic we do, but we have to, lift up, we have to develop the students into non-academic spheres also. So we want an education system which is very flexible, so that the students, while learning, they can choose their path according to their talents and their interest. And in the new education policy, hard separations among the hierarchies or different, suppose arts, science, vocational or formal education or the full graduate education, all these are removed so that we can have all-round development of the students. We want to make our institutions or education system multidisciplinary so that there is unity and integrity of all knowledge, so that a student gets opportunity. Suppose he is admitted to a particular stream, he has the full freedom to also to learn about the subjects of his other interests, other areas of his areas of knowledge. Next principle is the conceptual understanding. Till now, what we are following is the rote learning and learning for exams only. We are compelling the students only to follow exam pattern. They are not having the conceptual learning of the subject. So new education policy wants to remove that hurdle and allow the students to have conceptual understanding of the subject. Next, we want to bring in creativity and critical thinking among the students so that there is logical decision-making capacity and innovation is developed in the students. And the next principle is ethics and human and constitutional values. What are the ethics? What are the human and constitutional values that will be impacted? Are the empathy, respect for others, courtesy, like democratic spirit, because our country is a democratic country. We have to be, every citizen must have the democratic spirit for service, that seva manobhav, scientific temper, liberty, responsibility, pluralism. The country is as a pluralistic country. We have a lot of diversity. So we have to live with the diversity, and every student must be able to learn how to, cope up with the diversity and adjust to it. Equality, justice, cleanliness, and respect for public property. These are the values that the students will be encouraged to learn in the new education policy. Then promoting multilingualism. The country is a multilingual country. We have so many diverse languages, diverse culture. So that the student, when we'll have the multilingual society, we'll have better understanding, better communication, and better easy teaching learning experience of the student. Next principle that has been brought in the National Education Policy 2020 is the imparting life skill. Already we have enough of experience now that without life skills, the students cannot be a good citizen, cannot be developing their own careers. So improve communication, cooperation, teamwork, resilience, everything needs the life skills. And we want to give away the summative assessment that we are following till now. We want to replace it with the formative assessment. How the student is forming, how the student is developing, that assessment is required, and this will help in avoiding the coaching culture. Till now in the country, the coaching culture is dominant, and this coaching culture is spoiling our education system, proper learning system. Then the educational planning and management, because a lot of development has occurred in the technology sector, in the scientific technology. So we have a lot of experience we have gained during the COVID period also, how we can use our latest technology for teaching and learning process. Now, the government emphasizes through this policy for better use of this technology in teaching and learning, removing all language barriers, and increasing access for our Divyang students, physically handicapped students. These technologies will help everyone to take part in the education system. Then already I have mentioned about the diversity that is there in the country, and this diversity has to be respected by each and every one in the country, and therefore education system must be taken up in the local context for all the course curriculum, pedagogy, as well as the policy. Then this education policy wants to ensure all students, they are able to thrive in the education system so that it gives to full equity. That is the principle inherent in this principle, national education policy. Then we need a synergy in the curriculum, because when a student gets into a school, primary, pre-primary school, then to primary school, then to high school, then to college, to university, there should be a flow in the education from early childhood to higher education. So that will happen only when all the course curricula are having some synergy. So this principle wants to fulfill that ideology. Then there is a very important component is the faculty and teachers development, because teachers and faculty are the heart of the learning process. So right from recruitment to the professional development, then positive working environment and the service condition, everything will lead to the faculty development. So this has been built in the national education policy. Also, we want to have a light but tight regulatory framework. A centralized regulatory framework will be put in place, which will have the full control, but that will give a lot of flexibility also to bring in integrity, transparency, and resource efficiency of the education system. Slides are visible now, ma'am? Hello?
Yeah, they are visible.
Okay. Now, any higher education institution, this only education will not be sufficient. We need to have outstanding research also. So this education policy has realized that in every higher education institution, outstanding education and development only will be fulfilled with outstanding research. So it has been brought in as a component for development of the education. Then there will be continuous review of the progress by education experts in the education system for better quality control. Then one of the most important component or principle of the National Education Policy 2020 is the rootedness and pride in India, because we should be very proud of our country's heritage, country's history. So to know about the rich heritage of the country, this particular principle, rootedness and pride in India, has been incorporated in the national education policy. And also it has been realized that education is a public service. Therefore, this has been brought as a basic right of every child that quality education must be ensured. And the next last point is the substantial investment in the strong and a vibrant education system, which will be possible only through participation of public, government, philanthropic, private, and community participation. So in the new education policy, it has been encouraged to bring in the investment from government, the philanthropic and private, as well as through community participation. All the segments will participate in the education policy, education system. So these are in nutshell, the principles and their implications. Next, we come to how education policy is going to transform our agriculture education, because agriculture is one of the most important components in the education system. And agriculture is not only, when we say agriculture, it is not in a very broad perspective. If we see, then agriculture comprises not only agriculture, but veterinary is there, fishery is there, community science is there, then sericulture, horticulture, all the allied disciplines are included in broad perspective of agriculture. So NEP 2020 will also impact in a very significant way and transform the entire agriculture education. And the basic issues that will help in transforming the agriculture education are strengthening the linkage between agriculture and allied discipline. It will bring in the multidisciplinary concept. Then it is one of the important point issue in the education policy that standalone universities will never exist or no more exist in the country. But our agriculture universities now have been bifurcated: agriculture university, veterinary university, fishery university, forestry university, so on and so forth. So it has been given in the education policy that by 2030, all these standalone agriculture universities need to become multidisciplinary university or institutions. But focus will remain on agriculture. But at the same time, these universities or institutions will have to provide multidisciplinary education. Then the one of the basic objective of agriculture education is to develop, develop professionals which are expert in agriculture and allied sciences. So agriculture education will have to be strengthened so that we get, market ready or need-based professionals which will be ready to serve the country or fulfill the need of the country. Then all the universities or colleges which are offering agriculture as a subject for education must benefit the local communities, because it is already enshrined in the national education policy as a principle that all institutions must serve the local communities. And for your appraisal, I'm very happy to say that our agriculture universities and agriculture colleges already are well connected with the local communities. So already we have fulfilled this requirement, but it has to be further strengthened. Next, the universities, all agriculture universities, must be committed to institutional excellence. As I said earlier, engagement with local communities, and they must be also accountable how much service they are giving to the society. Next is every university must have its own institutional development plan, IDP. We call in short IDP, Institutional Development Plan. And this plan must be, in that way that specific plans for action on increasing participation from socioeconomically disadvantaged groups, must be able to derive benefit from these institutions by way of education or by way of development. So this IDP will take care of that. And this IDP is not only help the, in development of the university, but as you know that now the institutions will be ranked by the Ministry of Human Resource Development through NIRF, National Institution Ranking Framework. Already it has been from this year, it has been launched. And this IDP, those institutions which will have the institution development plan, they will be better placed in the terms of ranking, because they can progress well and they can be able to, get higher ranking in the national ranking list. Of course, this commitment to excellence, engagement with local communities and accountability will be only achievable through adequate funding, legislative enablement, and autonomy in a phased manner. The government is going to bring in a phased manner such rectifications in the policy or the government plans program through adequate funding to these institutions. There will be some legislations will be required, and the autonomy will be also given to this institution so that they can prosper, or these institutions can progress. Then how these universities, agriculture universities, are going to be restructured under NEP? One of the most important, trust in the national education policy is to increase the general enrollment ratio. General enrollment ratio is very low in the country as compared to the developed countries. And in context of agriculture universities or education system, that our universities, agriculture universities, are out of the total universities in the country, they comprise 9% of the total universities, but enrollment is only less than 1% of all enrollment in the higher education institutions. So this is a very big concern for us, how we can increase the enrollment ratio in these universities. So already we have been given instruction by the government to increase the intake capacity or the seat capacity every year by 10%. And every agriculture university must have 3,000 total student enrollment in a particular year. 3,000 capacity, intake capacity must be there. So to achieve that, an institution definitely has to enroll more students through by becoming more multidisciplinary in nature. More subjects have to be open, and there may be there is a thinking now that these bifurcated universities may have to either merge into single university, or they have to open new colleges, new stream of education, so that at the same time they become multidisciplinary and also the enrollment ratio is increased. And this is a big challenge, actually, not only the challenge of increasing number of the intake or the students, but also at the same time, since these are agriculture universities, so we have to admit more students with the farming background. So we have to take challenge of this, both of the things under new education policy. One of the main point or attractive point in this education policy is the provision for multiple exit and multiple entry points in higher education. What does it mean? So now when a student is enrolled, so he gets admitted in the first year, and after 4 years in agriculture or allied streams, he gets a degree. But now the thinking is that after first year, if a student wants to drop out, earlier he did not get anything, no degree, no certificate, no diploma he used to get. Now the provision will be made now from now onwards that after first year a student goes out, he doesn't want to continue the entire degree program, he will get a certificate. After 2 years, a student wants to exit, he will get a diploma. After 3 years, if he wants to exit, he will get a simple degree in agriculture or allied field. After 4 years, if a student exits, he will get the BSc honors degree in agriculture or BSc research degree in agriculture or allied fields. So this will help, and that is the exit thing. The entry thing is that suppose a student goes out after first year, after 2 years, he wants to come back and rejoin the degree program, he can again come back. So this is the multiple exit and entry concept in the higher education. So for such a thing, this point, again, modalities are being framed. Suppose a student goes out after 1 year, he exits, he gets a certificate. With what skill he will go out? So therefore, the provision is being made to have some skill development courses in the very first year, as well as in the second year. Suppose a student goes out after 2 years, he gets a diploma, he will go out with certain skills he will earn, some knowledge he will gain in the subject, as well as he will gain some skills so that he becomes employable, or he can start his own enterprise also. So minimum standards of quality of agriculture education need to be defined. That is also a very important point which will be required to be looked after, in the national education policy, for the new education policy for agriculture. Already I spoke about that research will be a very important component along with education in the new education policy in the higher education institution. But agriculture universities are in a very better position that way, because all agriculture universities in the country have 3 mandates. One is education, second is research, and the third is extension education. So already we are achieving, or we are into research, in a big footing. So we have to maintain this research contribution, need-based research contribution for the development of the farmers or the other stakeholders, whoever needs technology from us. Agriculture universities need to stay relevant for tomorrow's world. So whatever research we are doing at present may not be relevant for tomorrow. So we'll have to cope up with cutting edge research as well as applied research. Cutting edge research to develop academically, and also the applied research to fulfill the needs of other stakeholders, including farmers. For better employability and placement, we have to impart right skills and knowledge through certificate and diploma courses. Besides the degree programs, every university now have to start certificate courses, also the diploma courses, under as a vision of the NEP. So for that matter, already some universities have already started the certificate and diploma courses in frontier areas of agriculture, so that we can get skilled person who are either better employable, or they can have their own entrepreneurship qualities. So a university worldwide means a multidisciplinary institution of higher learning. This is the meaning of university. So these universities will offer undergraduate degree, graduate degree, and the PhD programs, both graduation, masters, and PhD, and also must be engaged in high quality teaching as well as research. Under new education policy, there will be different types of university. Like there will not be any deemed university or any standalone university or something like that, but the universities will be some universities may be called research university, some universities may be called education university, some may be called education and research university, depending on the importance or priority that is given in that particular university. So agriculture universities shall need to expand to become teaching and research multidisciplinary institutions. This is, I am repeatedly emphasizing on this, that the universities will have to become multidisciplinary, all the agriculture universities, taking care of teaching as well as research. And there is a concept called multidisciplinary education and research universities. Like, different degrees will be offered, varying degree of multidisciplinary, and also they will grow and achieve higher level of education and research, and increasing the number of students beyond 3,000 threshold. Only when a university becomes, agriculture university becomes multidisciplinary, then only we will be able to cross this 3,000 bar, and we'll have more gross enrollment ratio, GER, that is gross enrollment ratio. As per the NEP, affiliation system has to be phased out by 2035. Many of these agriculture universities, like other general universities, they're affiliating different colleges. They are not constituent colleges, they are affiliated colleges. Now, this concept of affiliation system will be done away with from 2035. So we have to prepare ourselves. Either we have to make these colleges as constituent colleges, or these colleges themselves will have to become autonomous colleges, or they have to upgrade themselves to university. At present, many of the ICR institutes or higher education institutes like Indian Agriculture Research Institute or Indian Veterinary Research Institute, National Dairy Research Institute, or the Central Institute for Fishery Education, these are called deemed to be university under ICR. But these have to be converted to research intensive universities or multidisciplinary education research university by offering UG, masters and PhD degrees from this university. These deemed universities at present, they are offering only masters and PhD, but in a very short time, they will be also offering undergraduate degrees also. Already I said that many small colleges are existing in the country, in agriculture too, in the government sector, as well as in the private sector. Many small colleges are there. They have to be expanded to include other related academic programs so that they become bigger. Certificate and diploma courses will be integrated into existing academic program in the line with the guidelines of, already I have talked about this. I need not mention again that the present degree program, UG program, fulfills already the recommendations of the NEP. Now, at present, what we are following in the undergraduate program in agriculture through the course curriculum that is set by the ICR and given to different agriculture universities or colleges, we have already a 4-year degree program. That is also NEP says that degree program has to be 4-year. Then already we have the choice-based credit system. Already it is there in the degree program of agriculture and allied field, and also integration of entrepreneurship in the academic program. Already in agriculture and allied fields, allied streams, already we have the student ready program, experiential learning program for entrepreneurship development. Already these we have already inbuilt in our degree program in agriculture. We need to only recast these programs so that other principles are also taken care of in the degree program. Now, one of the important agenda in the national education policy is the collaboration with foreign universities. How we can collaborate with, how we can become ourselves, we can become international. So we have to collaborate with foreign universities for this easy change of institutions so that we can get foreign students into our universities. Will be possible only by easy transfer of the students, which will be possible by credit transfer for those students who aspire to move between institutions within India and abroad. So this for this the NEP has brought in a concept of academic bank of credit. So whatever credits are done by a student in a particular university, all will be recorded in the centrally controlled academic bank of credit. So if he moves out and changes the institution, then this academic credit will also be carried to the new institution. That the new institution will see that whatever credits he has already completed should not be repeated again if it is in the relevant field of agriculture and allied fields. Already I mentioned about the internationalization of the education, how we can attract foreign students. For this, the modalities have to be developed by Indian Council of Agriculture Research as the professional setting bodies. And each university, that way, like central universities will be able to attract more and more international students into these universities. Then the student and faculty development have been emphasized in education policy already in agriculture universities, scholarships, fellowships. Lot of these fellowship and scholarships are provided by our Indian Council of Agriculture Research or the university themselves. Also, we have to think about increasing these numbers, and along with that, teaching assistantship, like in the concept of American universities, also we can introduce the teaching assistantship or research assistantship, and also the training of the both students and faculties. Then one of the biggest advantages that we can derive from education policy in agriculture is the formation of National Research Foundation Fund. Already, Central Cabinet has recently, 2-3 days back, Cabinet has approved the NRF, and when it becomes functional, agriculture universities also will be able to take fund from this NRF for quality research. Also, we will be ICR will be an implementing arm of the National Higher Education Regulatory Council that will be formed under National Education Policy, and ICR will be the implementing arm of this ERC for agriculture education. Now, ICR has the accreditation board, National Agriculture Education Accreditation Board, and which will get the mandate from the central accreditation or centralized accreditation board, so that this board can accredit different universities and colleges for offering agriculture education. This is all about my presentation, ma'am. This is done.
Yeah.
How agriculture education will be transforming under National Education Policy.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, sir, for the detailed presentation. Now I'll quickly take up some questions. How does the NEP 2020 aim to promote interdisciplinary learning in agriculture education?
Now, actually, the new course curriculum which will be brought in maybe this year or next year, it is going to be started. So every student will get enough opportunity. We have already seen that a student who aspires, besides agriculture, suppose he wants to learn a subject which is not at all directly linked to agriculture, but he aspires to learn, he will be given opportunity in those subjects. If it is available offline, he can go for offline. Say some credit hours will be earmarked for such streams, also such subjects, so that every student will have to do some courses which are of his own interest, interest which is not linked to agriculture, but he can take these courses either from offline process or maybe online, like Swayam, Diksha or Swayam Prabha. Such platforms are available nowadays online. Many courses are available. He can offer courses from such this thing, and this will be counted and put in his transcript at the completion of the degree.
Okay. And what measures are suggested in the NEP 2020 to enhance practical skills in agriculture institutions?
Yeah. Till now, already agriculture education, actually every course will have the practicals, but now every student in the first year and second year, he has to do compulsorily many credits, for only practical courses. Little theory will be there, more practicals will be there. So first 2 years, as I said, for giving a certificate, giving a diploma for the dropouts, these skill development courses will be incorporated in the first year and second year. Lot of practicals he will have to do. So definitely the skill development and the training, hands-on training will be available to the students through the new course curriculum.
Okay. How does NEP 2020 encourage entrepreneurship and innovation in the agriculture sector?
Entrepreneurship, as I said, that already it is there in the agriculture and the allied field, like in the fourth year only, final year, that they experience a learning program for 1 semester and the rural work experience program as internship for 1 semester. Through these, students are gaining entrepreneurship, but we are thinking that this is very late stage in the final year. Now we want to bring in, skill development courses in the experiential learning program in the first year and second year, but this will be also there in the final year for village exposure, so that they can learn the problems of the farmers, and also those students who are not interested in much in the entrepreneurship, if they want to develop their career in research and academic field, they also will have the opportunity. They can have the research degree, BSc research degree, not the BSc honors degree, through their final semester fully dedicated to research only.
Okay. And what role does technology play in the implementation of agricultural education under the NEP 2020?
Technology, as I said earlier, already that we have learned relation from COVID, how to continue the education system. And we have used a lot of latest technologies like audio, AR, VR, audio video system we are using for actual learning, actual feeling of the things, and the virtual world. We are already, Agri Diksha portal is available where we are uploading e-videos, practical videos, so that they can learn everything, not through only classes in the classroom classes. They can learn also through the online medium. That way, all the latest technologies are being implemented in the agriculture universities through the National Higher Education Project like 1A and National Higher Education Project 1B. So ICR is giving a lot of emphasis for use of technology in agriculture education.
Okay. And how does NEP 2020 address the importance of research and collaboration in agricultural education?
Actually, research is already, as I said earlier, the research is already a component of the agriculture universities. It is one of the mandate of the agriculture university, education, research, and extension. Research is already there in all agriculture universities, and students get enough opportunity to be involved in research also along with education. They are exposed to research. And new education policy with the new course curriculum, those students who will be aspiring to become research scientists or academician, they can have the degree like BSc research in agriculture by doing research in the final semester.
Okay. And what changes does the NEP 2020 propose for curriculum of agricultural courses?
So all these philosophies already, 6 Dins committee is in place, constituted by Indian Council of Agriculture Research. And I am very happy to tell you that I am a member of that central committee of looking after the entire agriculture. And that way, other disciplines deans are also involved in this 6 Dins committee. It's a 12-member committee constituted by ICR, and which is looking after the new course curriculum, what it should be the new course curriculum, where all basic courses, applied courses, and all skill development courses, all exposure to the frontier areas of science, everything will have been proposed to be incorporated in the new course curriculum, which will be shortly announced by Indian Council of Agricultural Research.
Okay, and what provisions are made to address the digital divide in rural areas affecting agriculture education?
Actually, agriculture education means this education will be imparted by the agriculture universities only, or agriculture colleges. So all these universities and agriculture are already well equipped, all with the all digital devices, facilities. So already government is trying to bring in all internet connectivity to remotest part of the country. So I don't think that in this digital divide will play a difficulty for us in imparting education, because we have seen that our university, Assam Agriculture University, has also launched the certificate courses where all the rural youth, they are participating from their own villages, from their own homes through internet only. They are taking these courses.
Okay. And how does NEP 2020 envision the integration of practical farming experiences with classroom learning?
Actually, this will be possible. Already we are following it in the, as I said, in the student ready program. So as the students are placed in the villages for 6 months, 1 semester, they learn the real difficulties of the farmers, real problems, issues with the farmers, and they will know how much it is variable from the whatever they have learned in the classroom. So this will remain as such in this new education policy also, and new course curriculum also. Village exposure will be definitely an integral part.
Okay. And what steps does NEP 2020 propose to improve the employability of agricultural graduates?
So employability, I am repeatedly telling that employability, will be possible only when a graduate is skilled enough. So for that matter, new course curriculum will take care that more and more skill development courses should be there, and entrepreneurship development will be there, so that they become more employable either in the others organization or they become self-employable.
Okay. 1 second. Okay, sir, I don't see any more questions from our participants. So now we have come to end of question round. On behalf of agricultureinformation.com, we'd like to thank you for a very detailed presentation and answering all the questions in depth. And we also like to thank all the participants for joining this meeting. The meeting will now be closed. Have a good and safe weekend.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you so much.